Max Holloway just did something that almost no one in MMA history has pulled off. He pointed to the center of the octagon, told Dustin Poirier to throw down, and then walked straight into war. 10 seconds. No defense, just chaos.
Last title fight for the BMF. Dustin.
Early knockdown for Holloway, trying to follow up with the right hand.
But what if I told you that moment, those final reckless punches, weren't just about the fight? They were the start of a much bigger shift in the UFC. Because as one legend might have just fought his final round, another could be charging toward a title shot nobody expected. And in the background, the UFC is planning something so insane, it might actually go down at the White House. This isn't just about Holloway and Poirier, this is about legacy. And what comes next might just change the UFC forever.
Max Holloway wasn't supposed to do that. Not after the wars he's been through. Not after getting knocked out in a BMF fight just months ago. But there he was, bloodied, battered, and smiling as he pointed to the ground and dared one of the most dangerous lightweights alive to trade punches with him. No head movement, no footwork, just heart. It wasn't strategy. It wasn't smart. It was Max Holloway being Max Holloway, and it worked. He survived the flurry, stood tall at the final horn, and proved that even after all these years, all the wars, all the setbacks, he's still built different. For most fighters, that moment would be career suicide, but for Max, it was a statement, a warning, a reminder that you can knock him down, doubt him, count him out, and he'll still get up and fight you like he never left. This wasn't just a win, it was resurrection. A legacy solidified not with technique, but with sheer madness and courage. And for a brief moment, it felt like the old Max was back, but more dangerous than ever. Here's the wild part. Max Holloway has only fought twice at lightweight in the UFC, and both times, he faced absolute killers. First, it was Dustin Poirier, a 5-round war that didn't go Max's way, but showed he could hang in the deepest waters. Then came Justin Gaethje, BMF belt on the line. And Max didn't just win, he flatlined him with one of the coldest knockouts of the year. 2 fights, 2 top contenders, 1 brutal knockout, no tune-up fights, no easy wins, just straight into the fire. And now he's coming out the other side with momentum, hype, and one hell of a case for a title shot.
The famous point down happened the last 10 seconds again. I mean, you get kind of crazy when you point down.
Think about it. He's already beaten the 2 guys that most lightweights have to climb through just to get a sniff at the belt. That's not a run, that's a shortcut. And if the UFC wants big names, highlight reels, and a real storyline heading into the next lightweight title fight, Max Holloway is suddenly the most dangerous option on the board.
Enter Paddy Pimblett. The haircut, the hype, the chaos, and now the face-off with Max Holloway. It wasn't random. It wasn't playful. It felt personal. The two stood nose to nose after the fight, Paddy talking, Max smirking, and instantly fans were split. Was this real beef or just viral bait? Pimblett's no stranger to controversy. He's talked his way into fights before, but standing across from Holloway, that's a different universe. Still, the UFC might love it. Paddy brings numbers, clicks, and chaos. Max brings legacy, violence, and class. It's the kind of contrast that sells out arenas, even if no one actually believes Paddy would win. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the UFC sees dollar signs, not rankings. The question is, does Max take the bait? Does he step into a sideshow just to silence the noise? Or does he keep climbing towards something bigger? If Max Holloway wants a fight that actually means something in the title picture, there's one name that keeps coming back: Ilia Topuria.
Shots have now officially that set up the headshot, it's all over.
Right on the ear.
On the money after you go to the podium.
Ilia didn't just beat Max, he shut him down in a way no one ever had. Clean, precise, dominant. And Max, he's not the kind of guy who lets that go. He's already said it. He wants that one back. A rematch would be massive, not just for Max's pride, but for the entire featherweight division. And with Ilia holding gold and Max storming through the top lightweights, the timing couldn't be better. But there's another name quietly creeping into the conversation: Arman Tsarukyan. No trash talk, no gimmicks, just raw talent and vicious control. He's the kind of problem that doesn't go viral until he's strangling a top 5 opponent and asking what's next. Arman's rise is real, And if Max wants the belt at lightweight, he might have to go through him first. The rematch with Ilya would be about revenge. The fight with Arman would be about proving he still belongs in the deepest, most brutal division in MMA.
Dana White wants to put a UFC event on the lawn of the actual White House.
I'm not a big fan. I would be shocked.
It sounds insane, because it is. An octagon that weighs over 20,000 pounds, historic federal property, presidential security, political firestorms. But somehow, it's not a joke. Dana says it's more realistic than doing another event at the Sphere. And that's saying something, because the Sphere nearly broke the UFC's production team. This wouldn't just be a fight night. It would be a global moment, a flex on every other sports organization on Earth. And the symbolism? An all-American brawl on the front lawn of the most powerful house in the world. On July 4th, it's bold, it's risky, it's classic Dana. But for it to work, they need fighters with real stakes, big names, big narratives. The moment Dana floated the White House idea, Jon Jones responded, fast. In a rare, heartfelt message, Jones made it clear. He's still in the USADA pool, still training, still waiting. But this time, it's not about paychecks, not about belts. It's about legacy. Jones said fighting at the White House would give him a why that goes deeper than anything he's chased before. He's not just trying to be the best fighter on earth. He wants to represent his country, to fight for something bigger than himself. And whether you believe him or not, that message hit different. Because under all the scandals, all the screw-ups, there's still a version of Jon Jones that fans want to believe in. The warrior, the GOAT, the guy who could headline something historic, if only he could stay out of his own way. He says he's ready. He says he's willing. And if that card really happens on July 4th, he wants in. Jon Jones says he's ready, but Dana White, he's not convinced. When asked about bringing Jones back for the White House card, Dana didn't say yes, he didn't say no either. What he said was way more telling. I just can't risk putting him in a big position and have something go wrong. That's not about injuries, that's about everything else. Because with Jon, history speaks loud. Failed tests, legal issues, late pullouts. Every time the UFC has gone all in on Jones, they've held their breath. And when you're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime event at the most iconic house in America, hope isn't a strategy. Dana needs certainty. He knows Jon's greatness. He's seen it up close. But trust? That's something Jon hasn't fully earned back. And when the entire world is watching, one wrong move could turn a historic UFC moment into a PR disaster. Imagine this. It's Independence Day. The sun's setting over Washington, D.C. Marines are guarding the perimeter. Secret Service is watching from every angle. And right in the middle of the White House lawn, there's a UFC octagon. It sounds like fiction, but Dana White wants it to be history. And if it goes down, it won't just be a novelty. It'll be the most ambitious event the UFC has ever staged, symbolically and logistically. Now, look at the potential headliners. Max Holloway, the comeback king, the BMF. Fresh off the most savage emotional fight of his career, he's proven he can headline cards, carry storylines, and deliver unforgettable violence without needing any gimmicks. Jon Jones. The wild card. Still one of the most polarizing fighters in combat sports, the GOAT to some, a liability to others. But his message was crystal clear. This isn't about money anymore. It's about meaning. Fighting on American soil, for legacy, under the stars and stripes. That's the kind of mythology Jon Jones lives for. Paddy Pimblett, the wildcard showman. Controversial, loud, viral. He brings the crowd that lives on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. The UFC might see him as the perfect chaotic contrast, something unpredictable for the mainstream audience. Add those names to a 4th of July card, and suddenly, this isn't just a fight night. It's a cultural event, a global flex. The UFC planting its flag at the heart of American power, with the entire world watching. But it's not just the optics. It's the risk, the politics, the security, the stakes. And that's what makes it so compelling. This isn't Madison Square Garden. It's not Abu Dhabi. This is the White House, the most guarded address on earth. Pulling this off would mean rewriting what's possible for live sports. And the UFC is this close to doing it. This wasn't just another card. It was a snapshot of where the UFC is and where it might be heading. We've seen the chaos, the comebacks, the retirements, the drama behind the scenes. But what do you think? Was this the perfect way for Dustin Poirier to go out? A brutal fight, no regrets, and a warrior's goodbye? Or should he come back one last time for the farewell he really deserves? And what about Max Holloway?
Should he go straight for the lightweight title? Or does he still have unfinished business with Ilya? Is Jon Jones serious about chasing legacy? Or is this just another comeback tease that fizzles out before fight night? And be honest, if the UFC actually pulled off a 4th of July card at the White House, would you tune in? Would you be proud, confused, or just hyped to see it happen? Let us know in the comments below. We read them all, and the wildest takes just might show up in our next video. And hey, if this kind of storytelling is your thing, if you're tired of the same surface-level takes and you want the real stories behind the fighters, the emotion, the tension, the stuff you don't hear in pressers, then do one thing.
Hit that subscribe button. We break fights down like no one else. And this is just the beginning. Because the UFC isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about legacy. And trust me, you're going to want to be here when the next chapter drops.